Trekkies. Hi, so apparently, I haven't seen much on the news. I'm literally got a page open here that I'm gonna talk about today. Obviously, it's in the title, but not much else has come up today other than the fact that I was really irritated that I woke up this morning to do all my Star Trek stuff and they were shut down. I'm like, it's Tuesday, what are you doing? And then after an hour, I realized, oh, they probably don't want to be at the server taking care of all the server crap on Thanksgiving morning. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But still, it's like, they do it a little earlier in the morning so that I don't have to wait till the time the view comes on. Anyways, that was pretty gay. We're gonna talk today, because again, STO hyphen news doesn't have anything new. The shuttle weekend is over. It was great. 200 freaking fleet marks from the Romulan ground one, that one. And then it says modeling Omega. There's that, but really what they came up with it, and now they put the stats behind it, and it's apparently a carrier. It looks like an escort, but then again, I forgot that the Jupiter, which hold your horses, was actually a previous ship in Star Trek Online. You can go back and find the USS Jupiter in STO, the STOWiki archives or something. In fact, where the dreadnought that is in Battle Group Omega used to be one of these Jupiter carriers, and it was basically something that kind of looked like this with nacelles that stuck out the back, and it looked really terrible. It was like you had a bunch of ships that came out of let's say a bunch of player ships that came out of say Final Fantasy 8 or 9, and then all of a sudden here you have a starship that's in some missions, and it looks like it came out of Final Fantasy 7. So anyways, this is not necessarily a new ship because it was already in and it was a carrier before, and people were complaining about it. After some discussion, right here, we finally settled that I'm making a carrier. Starfleet players have access to plenty of escort and cruiser options, but not very many science ships or even carriers. This gave us an opportunity, perfect opportunity to fill a gap. We'll get into the whole science carrier. It's a science carrier, but yeah, because it was the Jupiter class dreadnought, but it looked similar to this, but it didn't look as sleek. Anyways, it later occurred to us that the ship could truly do what the ship could truly do by assuming the Jupiter class name. But it was our intention to have this ship be massive, since it would be both a carrier and taking on the Jupiter class namesake. The new Jupiter class carrier would serve as a mobile fighter launching support platform, but it was the reason we decided to give it a universal console with team support ability. I don't know how big this ship is supposed to be is the thing, but it's pretty. I hope it's pretty big. We'll go into the stats, but you can read all the about this, all the words. It's tier 6 because what isn't at this point that's being released? It's got a Lieutenant Commander Engineering Intel Bridge Officer slot. And the other ones are Lieutenant Tactical, Lieutenant Science, Commander Science, Lieutenant Universal. I like the fact that, Lieutenant Commander Engineering, that can whip out some pretty nasty abilities. Okay, so what you can do with a lot of engineering abilities that come with Lieutenant Commander that are not available at the lower ranks. Technically, there's only 2 of them, and it's Eject Warp Plasma and Aceton Beam. Now, this is beneficial because highly beneficial because while Eject Warp Plasma is pretty decent, this thing has a poor turn radius, so Eject Warp Plasma might be pretty good, but I've noticed it's got less usage than I'd like it to have, unless you've got a highly mobile ship. But Aceton Beam's actually pretty decent because it's basically a dot, and as we all know, but it's affected by aux power. Eject Warp Plasma I don't think is affected by aux power, but anyways, but you can get at least Aceton Beam 1, which is pretty decent because you can just bzz and you dot, and they have an energy weapon. It's an energy weapon debuff also. It puts at least a science officer's particle generators to good use. Oh, it says here with a hazard systems officer, it's a chance to drain 10 energy from all target subsystems. There's we go. And particle generators increases the radiation dot damage. Also, it says here, rank 1, minus 50% target energy weapon damage, which is pretty decent. It says deals 30 radiation damage every second, but I don't like those numbers. That seems a little low. but it's not too much of an increase. The main increase is through it's 50% target energy weapon damage, 66.7%, 75% energy weapon damage. And then you can couple bridge officer on there for fairly decent. I mean, to drain all target subsystems, that's pretty decent, even for, Aceton Beam 1. And it allows for that, but like I said, it's also intel, which it allows you to get every intel ability. I get it. Oh, those are ground abilities. I need space abilities. And the things that are very unique to Lieutenant Commander and the intel are like energy weapons, surgical strikes, which is attack upgrade, accuracy, and crit. Subnucleonic carrier wave, PB AoE buff removal and recharge debuff. I get it, that's subnucleonic beam, but an AoE. Torpedo transport warhead 1, which a shield bypass and subsystems offline. I'm curious about torpedo, transport warhead. I get it. More on this later. But the intel abilities don't seem that great. So I personally would probably take like directed energy modulation 2 for my Lieutenant Commander slot for the engineering. Maybe reverse shield polarity, but most likely directed energy modulation because I like to maintain much more of an offensive capability. So that's what's going on with how I would slot that. My Commander Science would obviously, I'd probably just put Golriku on it, and I will have a gravity well with like his Tachyon Beam 3, and I think he has hazard emitters. I don't know, the game's shut down right now, so I can't really remember. I just know that I technically have 7 science officer abilities right now, and it's really hard to get them all up. But continuing, it's got 3, 3, 4, so 3 tech, 3 engineering, 4 science, and a 6-degree turn rate. Hello, cruisers. Impulse modifier, 0.15. Shield modifier is 0.125, so less than your typical science vessel, but I'm not sure if that's on par with other carriers. Probably. Inertia of 30, which low is bad. You slow. Anyways, plus 10 shield, plus 10 aux. Can load dual cannons, however, so there's a benefit. But with its slow turn rate, a bit of a trade-off there. It does have subsystem targeting, but it doesn't have the little arrow above sensor analysis. It doesn't have sensor analysis, and it's got 3 in the front, 3 in the back. So, 2,200 in crew though. It's like, good God! It's got hangar bays, got 2 because it's a full-blown carrier. And the mastery is just if you have like the kitty crate or other carriers, even Klingon side, you understand that it's just carrier package. It says science carrier package because I bet the Obelisk has a different carrier package because it's an engineering carrier, but this is basically quick deployment, armored hull, reactive shield technology, shield regen, and advanced shield system. So it's hull hit points, shield regeneration, and hardness, and then hangar pet recharge and experience increase. Insult to injury is the trait, which basically says after you activate an Intel Bridge Officer ability or Tractor Beams 1, 2, or 3, allow your pets to use Transport Warhead 1. Pretty decent, especially with these new fighters. The console is activating. It's much more of a defensive console, even though it gives offensive abilities. It's a fleet support console. So, additionally, it basically activating this console provide a boost of damage and accuracy to allies, most likely to you also, so you can solo with it. Additionally, affected allies receive a large amount of temporary hull hit points for the duration of the console's effect. This console provides a passive boost to accuracy and shield hit points, so cool. The console mod may be equipped on any slot, but can only be equipped on the Jupiter class and its fleet variant. Part of its fleet variant includes gaining a 4th engineering console, just a shield modifier of 0.1375, and then bonus hit points. That's that. But it comes with Peregrine fighters when you get it. I'm taking a wild guess it's probably going to be either coming out this Thursday or whatnot. There's a new fighter, and what it says is these agile small craft are called Callisto light escorts. These agile small craft are bristling with weapons. Each hangar bay is capable of deploying a maximum of 2 of these light carriers. 1 is deployed each time the launch ability is used. So rather than like for Scorpion fighters, it goes psh, psh, psh. Mine goes straight up because they basically come out of my butt. You'll hear me, Aaron will hear me yell, "Get in my butt, you little fucker." Anyways, and like with the Delta Delta flyers and the like runabouts, it just puts out 2. This puts out 1. And it's understandable. Once I get into the stats of these, you'll understand why do I only get 2 of these. You'll see. I'm actually really impressed. These escorts, there's only 2 of them, remember, but it's the Callisto Light Escort is available in, these frigates are unlocked in their stores, listed as long as below as you own a carrier tier 6 or a fleet carrier tier 6. I have the kitty crate, so I'm not necessarily sure, because it's a carrier, but anyways. It's got quad phaser cannons in the front, dual heavy phaser cannons in the front, photon torpedo in the front, and phaser turrets in the back. So it's got 4 energy weapons facing forward, because there's 2 in the back that have 360. And then a photon torpedo launcher in the front, but they turn like nobody's business. So it's basically 5 weapons out front. It'll have high yield 1, scatter volley 1, and scratch the paint, which I'm not sure what that one is. I forget what scratch the paint is, but. And then the advanced ones just move all the things torpedo high yield. 2 elite ones that come out of the dilithium store, because it's EC store, dilithium store, dilithium store. And the dilithium store, you most likely will need the Com Array 5 for your starbase. All the weapons are the same, except for high yield 3, scatter volley 1, scratch the paint, and then lock trajectory 1. Which, again, I don't really... It sounds like an intel ability. Okay, so lock trajectory is continue on current course, but turn freely. So you'll go, the little fighter will go straight forward, but it can do this, but it'll keep moving forward. It's a pilot ability. And I haven't found what scratch the paint does. It's like subspace boom, yeah. But I'm taking a wild guess that scratch the paint might be a kinetic ability. So anyways, that's pretty much what that is. They're like I said, you only get 2, but they have like 5 weapons up front. And they look pretty decent. I mean, they look, you know, like a fighter should. They don't look special. I wish they kind of maybe looked like more like a Defiant, but you know, whatever. So that's pretty much that. I can't imagine, I can't wait to actually see, because there's not really anything showing how big this ship is. It's just a lot of screenshots that show it against a neutral background. And the few fighters that I see have like, the thing in the background is so far away because it's Earth space dock. Anyway, you can see all the links below and stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions about this and what, I actually continue to think about it, and this thing is not, I mean, it's great because it's got Commander Science, but all carriers that I know of have Commander Science. Well, except for the Obelisk. The little launch icon is locked, so they may not be having it out. It's probably this Thursday. Usually they don't come out with a stat dev blog like this without having it out that Thursday. Could be today. I mean, the thing's down right now, but whatever. I'll catch you guys later. Have a safe Thanksgiving. Eat lots.